Now the field is coming out for an exhibition event, concluding the Standardbred Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp. The first flight of 4 competitors and Extreme Camp participants. Jeff O'Bourne is in the driver's seat, about to graduate from the Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp. Jeff O'Bourne will drive Posty Pete, and assisting him in the bike is Nick Boyd. Extreme Camp competitor number 2, Gary Helmer, is in the bike, assisted by Scott Coulter, driving trotting mare Paradox Trillium. PJ's Last Touch of Grace. Vado Sproxton is the camper in the bike with Stuart Sowerby. And there's Dave Lawrence in the bike, assisted by Mike Whalen on Medway Factor. Big thrill for these first-time adult participants. They've spent several days here in the adult camp, learning all about horses, getting their first taste of hands-on experience, capped off by this ride in a race bike. They'll go over to the backstretch and be ready to go to the starting gate. Big thrill for the adult campers to get a sense of what it's like to put the horse's nose right on the starting gate. Move up to speed on the turn. And then feel what it's like behind our great athletes, the horses, as they accelerate towards the start. Jeff O'Bourne, Gary Helmer, Vado Sproxton, and Dave Lawrence. It's post time for the first heat of the Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp graduation night. And they're off. And from the outside, it's Dave Lawrence going to try to clear the lead quickly with Medway Factor. But along the inside, Jeff O'Bourne goes well with Posty Pete. Medway Factor is driving hard to try to clear off the lead for Dave Lawrence. Jeff O'Bourne driving Posty Pete, and he's going to park Medway Factor and Dave Lawrence around much of the first turn. Going to follow along the inside into third is Gary Helmer driving Paradox Trillium, and backing off to find the inside lane in fourth. That's Vado Sproxton with PJ's Last Touch of Grace. So here comes the quarter pole. Medway Factor, Dave Lawrence finally cleared the lead. Jeff O'Bourne and Posty Pete carried that one a long way. Gary Helmer already pulls out with Paradox Trillium. They won a quarter of a mile in 33 3, and around to the top of the stretch. They'll point to the completion at the wire. The leader is Medway Factor, Paradox Trillium. Gary Helmer moving up on the outside, right there in the pocket. Jeff O'Bourne, and then 3 more lengths to Vado Sproxton with PJ's Last Touch of Grace, fanning out 3 wide. Paradox Trillium outside, Posty Pete on the inside. It's Posty Pete driving on through to win for Jeff O'Bourne, just by a head over Gary Helmer and Paradox Trillium. Dave Lawrence and Medway Factor finish third. Vado Sproxton and PJ's Last Touch of Grace finishing fourth. Now the youth camp and adult camp harness drivers. Standardbred Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp coming to a conclusion from the past weekend's activities here at Grand River Raceway. Ken Parsley is in the bike of number 1 Paradox Trillium with driver's seat assistance from Aaron Byron. Ken Parsley about to graduate from the Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp. There's Leah Dunbar in the bike with Paul McKenzie. 2 is PJ's Last Touch of Grace. Leah Dunbar drives 2. Scott Morrison about to graduate from the camp. Sulky assistance from Nick Boyd. They're teaming Medway Factor. Last graduate of the Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp is Royce Broxton, with driver's seat assistance from Trevor Henry. Good luck to one and all in heat number 2, non-wagering, Standard Bred Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp graduates about to get their first taste of race bike experience. The starting gate is moving. The Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp drivers are moving in. Driving number 1 is Ken Parsley. Driving number 2, Leah Dunbar. Scott Morrison driving 3, and Royce Broxton driving number 4. Heat number 2 of the Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp. Approaching a start. And they're off, and Royce Broxton and Trevor Henry are having Posty Pete firing out of there. They are crossing right on over to the lead. Posty Pete with the biggest gate rush. Scott Morrison will land out second with Medway Factor. Along the inside is Ken Parsley third with Paradox Trillium. And Leah Dunbar, PJ's Last Touch of Grace, follows fourth. They're on their way to the quarter pole, which will be the half-mile point of this thrilling dash for these Extreme Adult Harness Racing Camp graduates. Royce Broxton has Posty Pete in top stride. 32-4. Posty Pete, Royce Broxton. Following up second is Scott Morrison and Nick Boyd with Medway Factor. About 5 more lengths of work to do for Ken Parsley with Paradox Trillium, and Leah Dunbar has PJ's Last Touch of Grace well reserved back there in fourth. But into the top of the stretch, Posty Pete under line urging all the way from Royce Broxton. Roy has been shaking the lines all the way and will win it by wide open lengths. Very close for the place. Paradox Trillium, Ken Parsley on the inside, Scott Morrison with Medway Factor on the outside, and Leah Dunbar back there finishing fourth with PJ's Last Touch of Grace. Half-mile dash in 1:05.1 by Royce Broxton with Posty Pete.